This is a follow-up regarding my reflections of the coronavirus that seems to be sweeping the world, and certainly it's now reached a point of panic in the United States. We just have learned that there are now 70 people who've died tragically and regretfully from the coronavirus. That's not quite what it has been with the flu. They estimate that within a few weeks the amount of deaths will be a little over 30,000. And there's no question that in keeping the pattern of our political wise figures, they're going to shut down even more because of the flu and the tremendous loss. I have to tell you something, and this intrigues me no end. They're closing schools. And yes, it's true that children and younger people under the age of 50 or 55 are going to be less harmed by this virus. In fact, it's considerably minimal danger to them. It makes you wonder why they've closed down the schools and not segregated people who are older and perhaps in retirement homes or what have you. Not that they should be put away from everyone else, no. But doesn't that make more sense than to deprive kids of their opportunity to learn, to gather together, to study, to have exercise and other activities? Of course, they can go out, but we're also told that to play outside, they need to be 3 to 6 feet away from each other, which is a very interesting phenomenon and experience. I worry about the flu, as I said, because the expectancy is that this year there will be 30,000 people who will die from the flu. And that's a strong comparison to the 70 I mentioned earlier regarding this virus. Oh, with everything closing down, bars are closing down, restaurants are closing down, theaters are. It'll be interesting to try to figure what younger people up to their 40s or 50s are going to do with their social life. The bottom line is we're being told there is to be no social life, no social life at all. But if you do have a social life, don't experience it with someone else unless they're 3 to 6 feet away from you. Oh, by the way, and I compliment them, the AMC movie chain are going to keep their theaters open. They will limit the attendance to some 250 people. I'm doing that with my appearances, many of which are going to take place in people's homes, which could be 30, 40, 50 people, and what have you. Because I think that people, under the greatest times of stress, need to have communications and know that they can talk to, see, and be part of something else. Incidentally, do yourself a favor. Talk to someone that you're close to. Talk to the people you know. Communicate with them, no matter what their age. Show your feeling, even if you have to tell dirty jokes. And I'm not kidding. Just communicate. Don't segregate yourself and be aloof to protect yourself from a disease which is mysterious, but evidently not quite the same as the flu, and 30,000 deaths. Oh, by the way, during the most traumatic times, and I can think of the days of the Second World War when Bob Hope was on television all over the place, and in the president's office with people around kidding, and you could see President Roosevelt laughing hysterically. Now I understand that many of the talk shows have removed their audiences. Fortunately, they stayed on the air, and I would hope live, because I was stunned, and I do mean I was stunned, to learn that Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers, who have their late night talk shows, have decided to leave the shows for a month. Not a vacation, just to leave the show for a month during this crisis. This is a time where the wise people in broadcasting who realize that they need to give something back for their success need to keep their live communication open with those people, many of whom are younger, that have nowhere else to turn except to put on the damn television. And hopefully that's not news. They need to be able to talk currently with their fans and make them feel that there is some empathy out there. God forbid all of this is replaced with something like this. Then there are more troubles in store, which I'll predict in the near future.